What's going on, Infected? It's Wolf of the Quarantine, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a game that was sent to me to review by the name of War Chest. Now, War Chest is an abstract strategy kind of war game, similar to a game like chess and Go, really. What you're going to be doing is on your turn, you're going to, or in the beginning of the game, everybody's going to be dealt 3 or 4, depending if you're playing with 2 or 4 players. But you're going to be dealt 3 or 4 unique units. Those units are unique, they do their own special little things, and you have cards to remind you what they do. And then throughout the course of the game, you're going to be playing these tokens either face up or face down, spawning them out, moving them around the board, attacking each other, removing pieces from the game, and all the while you're trying to capture certain points on the board. Now, as I mentioned, a game of War Chest is actually really simple. Basically, on the beginning of every round, each player is going to draw 3 of your tokens out of this bag, and then depending on how you play them, you're going to do different things. So, if I have, say, an archer, it's got the little, I don't know, it's just got the bow and arrow on it. I can play it face up and move an archer that's already on the table. I can place it face up on one of my spawn points. I can attack somebody by also putting it face up in the discard pile and attacking somebody adjacent. I can discard it face up to just do what it says on the card, which in a case of an archer, you can attack somebody exactly 2 spaces away, or you can put them face down to recruit anything that you want, which means you take a token and you put it in the bag. You can pass by putting a token face down, or you can steal the first player marker, and for the most part that's your options. I think there's a couple other ones that you're able to do, but that's basically the concept of the game. Now, if I attack one of your pieces, it's actually removed from the game permanently. So as the game progresses, you're going to get lower and lower amount of troops, but then you have a couple things that you have to think about while you're playing, because if you go on this huge recruiting spree and just throw a bunch of tokens into your bag, then you're going to have, it's going to kind of overcrowd your bag, and it's going to be harder for you to get the tokens that you need when you need them, because you only draw 3 at the beginning of every round. So you got to kind of find this balance of, okay, well, do I keep recruiting? Do I try to just stick with what I have and move my people around? Because another option you could do is you can play a token face up on top of a token you already have, and it just makes them stronger. So if you attack that token, instead of the whole thing dying, just the top one gets removed from play. So the token's still there, and they have to attack it again, and you maybe just hope that they don't have one or whatever. But then there's special rules on all the different tokens. So it's a really interesting, very simple, abstract strategy game. So I have to say, I actually thoroughly enjoyed War Chest. It's very simple to teach, and it's a lot of fun. But there are a few problems with the game that we found. One of the tokens that you're going to get starting off is the, I think it's called the Royal Coin. It has your faction's symbol on it. And if you pull that out, you can only ever play that coin face down. So it adds a little bit of a strategy thing, because your opponent doesn't know what you're putting face down to, pass or recruit or anything like that. So it's kind of, it makes it to where it's harder to coin count, I guess is the best word. But the problem is, after a certain point in the game, that token just starts to feel really useless. You hate getting that in your hand, because you're like, well, crap, I wish there was something else I can do with it. And there's a Royal Guard which uses the token, but overall I actually, that token is really annoying. Wish there was a way you can optionally get rid of it out of the game as well, because again, if your game goes on a little on the long side, it's really annoying when you get that token and you needed something else, which, I mean, granted, your opponent also is going through the same thing, but it is really annoying. And then another issue that some people are going to have with the game is some of the unit combinations are really powerful, like overwhelmingly powerful. To give you the one example that I could think of off the top of my head that I remember that we wound up having, I had it and I felt dirty using it. It is the War Priest combined with Marshal, I think it was. So basically what that is Marshal allows you to discard a Marshal token, and something within one of your pieces within 2 spaces gets to just attack something adjacent to it. But then with the War Priest, if the War Priest attacks or captures, you just get to draw a token out of the bag and just activate it. So what you wind up pulling out is you bouncing between, or you wind up pulling out another Marshal. You just use the Marshal, let your War Priest attack again or control or whatever, and then you can in theory bounce back and forth and do that several times in a row, and it is devastating if that happens. And so there's a few other combinations, but that's probably the most powerful one. So if you wind up getting that combination, you're probably gonna win, because that is a very, very, very difficult strategy to overcome. If you get 1 turn and then I effectively get like 3, that's ridiculous. And then on top of that, it drains my bag a little bit faster, so I'm going to be able to get my discard pile back into the bag to pull out more tokens. So just know that going in, that some of those combinations are a little ridiculous. What I would personally do, because you're supposed to like randomly divvy them out, I would like maybe draft instead to kind of eliminate that problem, because at that point, if you do a draft and I got an overpowered combo, it's kind of your fault, unless there was no option, but then you're probably going to get an overpowered combo, and I'm going to get an overpowered combo, and it's going to cancel each other out. But other than that, those are the only real 2 major problems that I have with the game, aside from the fact that this box is a little larger than I feel it needs to be. I dropped mine. Mine fell and split the side. I was a little annoyed, but that's because I'm an idiot. I had tried to balance it on something while I put something else back in the shelf, and it fell down and blew up all over the place. But the tokens, the little disc thing, which are super good quality, by the way, they only come up to here. Then the board comes up to about here, and then the bags and rulebook come up to here. So you have all this space here that maybe for expansions or something, I don't know. It just feels like this did not need to be nearly as big as it is, which, that said, it's super nice. It's got a magnetic latch on it and everything. All the components just scream quality. You got the really nice velvet bags with the stitchings of each faction on it, and just the whole thing screams quality. It just feels unnecessarily big, but like I said, it might be just due to maybe future expansions or something. I'm not really sure. But yeah, definitely recommend War Chest. It's super simple, super easy to play. Whereas like chess, you have all of the different, you have king, queen, bishops, rooks, knights. I think that's all of them. But then you have all the pawns, so it's 6 different things that all move differently, and you have to remember, okay, how does this move? How does this move? How does this move? You don't have to do that with this, especially teaching new players anyways. I've been playing chess for years, that's all second nature. But, teaching my daughter, for example, in the very beginning, she struggled to remember what did what. There is none. Everything moves exactly the same. You just, one of the adjacent areas, you attack one of the adjacent areas. Or you can use your card's special ability, which on the card, it shows what that special ability does. You don't have to remember anything. It's all right there. So it's very, very beginner friendly, but there's a lot of depth and strategy here, and the game is going to eventually end no matter what, because one side is going to run out of tokens, and that's when the other side is going to have the upper hand. So there's a lot of decision making, a lot of very important decision making, a lot of strategic decision making, but it's a very, very good game. Definitely going to stick around in my collection for a while. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.